Hello friends, welcome to youtube.com oblique Dr. Vet channel. In this channel we are presenting lectures in veterinary science and animal husbandry. I am Dr. P.R. Patel, Professor and Head. In this presentation we are dealing with an important disease, respiratory disease, that is epistaxis in animals. We have already presented part 1. Here we discuss part 2. In this we deal with important parts, clinical findings and diagnosis, especially etiological diagnosis of epistaxis in animals. Friends, we discuss epistaxis. In that we discuss clinical findings. Important sign to diagnose epistaxis is bleeding from nostrils. Clinician can observe this. Even the owner or attendant can also this bleeding from the nose. The nose bleeding may be unilateral, coming from one nostril, or bilateral, coming from both the nostrils. The bleeding may have a different consistency and color. The blood may be bright red in color if it is a fresh bleeding. Blood may be mixed with serous discharge, may show some inflammation of the mucous membrane. Blood may show mixed with mucus, generally Glander's case or Schistosoma nasalis case. Blood may be mixed with a purulent discharge, may show presence of bacterial infection. Continue with the clinical findings of epistaxis. The blood may be mixed with air bubbles if it is coming from lower respiratory tract. So it is called as a foamy bleeding. Blood is mixed with the air bubbles, foamy. The bleeding flow may be either drop by drop or little bit more a thin stream, or maybe a large quantity. There is term called rhinorrhagia when there is rapid flow of blood from the nose. It is called as rhinorrhagia. The volume of the blood is important. The bleeding may be scanty or very little or small volume, and if scanty bleeding, it will stop automatically by itself, or maybe a profuse bleeding. We will see in the next slide. Continue with the clinical findings. The bleeding may be scanty or bleeding may be profuse, whole blood. It will be a non-stop constant bleeding, which is serious, which is danger. It is called as hemorrhage. When there is large volume of blood is lost, the pulse becomes rapid and weak. Immediately there will be decrease of blood pressure because of hemorrhagic loss of blood. Animal may succumb, sit down, fall down, or if the bleeding is for a long time, then it may produce anemia. The mucous membrane becomes pale. Slowly there is loss of condition because of the anemia, and in severe bleeding there may be death also. Friends, we discuss here epistaxis diagnosis. Here we put a more emphasis on etiological diagnosis. That is very much important for proper treatment. Many a time patient is presented at the clinic at the time of bleeding or with a history of bleeding. The bleeding may not be present at the present time. When the patient is presented with bleeding, then detailed history is not very much required. But when the patient is presented without bleeding, then the detailed history from the owner is required. Friends, remember, first and most important thing is to determine the source of bleeding, from where the bleeding is coming. To determine source of bleeding and exact location of the bleeding point, which is very much important to diagnose and to stop the bleeding. Continuation with the diagnosis, identification of origin of blood or point of hemorrhage is important. If blood is coming from nostrils or the point or the source is nostril, then blood will be bright red in color. If the source of bleeding is lung, it is bright red and the blood is mixed with air through the bleeding. If the blood is coming from stomach, the color is brownish red because it is digested by the acid of the stomach. The bleeding may be acidic in reaction and may be mixed with the ingesta. This is just a guideline. It is not exact, but this gives the guideline whether the bleeding is from the nose, from the lung or from the stomach. Continue with the diagnosis. Generally, unilateral bleeding suggests the nasal origin and bilateral bleeding is usually from the backward nasal passage origin. So this suggests some source of the bleeding. Inspection is very much important part to determine the origin or location of bleeding. Clinician can examine the nasal cavity directly, but directly he can examine only first part of the nasal cavity. Clinician, for the better visualization, he can examine the nasal cavity with the help of strong pointed source of light through the external ears, and he can examine the nasal mucous membrane, nasal cavities, nasal passages. Continue with the diagnosis. If the bleeding is from lungs, it is called as hemoptysis. If bleeding from the stomach, it is called as hematemesis. If the blood is found non-clotted, then it is assumed that bleeding is due to some systemic disorders or systemic diseases, or maybe some clotting defect of the blood that prevents the clotting of the blood. So epistaxis blood may be a non-clotted due to these two reasons. Further etiological diagnosis: if there are blood clots in the external nerves, it may suggest recent traumatic injury to the nasal mucosa. Or if there is erosion of blood vessels by space occupying lesions, maybe tumor or nasal polyps. By this way we can detect presence of fresh injury, traumatic injury. Bleeding by ulcers in the nostrils caused by glanders. In this condition, the blood is scanty and mixed with the mucus. That suggests ulcers due to glanders. If origin of blood is from a pharyngeal lesion or a pharynx, then animal exhibits frequent swallowing movements because the animal swallow the blood. At the same time, there is a short explosive cough, all of a sudden volatile cough, with the expulsion of blood from the mouth. This suggests a pharyngeal hemorrhage. Hematological examinations are indicated for the diagnosis of systemic diseases or clotting defects of the blood. So whenever there is unclotted blood, then hematological examination is to be carried out for the further diagnosis. Continue with the diagnosis. Clinician can inspect the nasal cavity with the help of torch. But to examine the upper airways and lower airways, endoscopic examination is a good tool. Endoscopic examination is useful to locate the site of injury, not only the upper airways, but to the lower airways also. Flexible fiber optic endoscope is used for endoscopic examination. Clinician can thoroughly examine nasal cavities, further back nasopharynx, further back guttural pouch. He can observe the mycosis and ethmoid hematoma in guttural pouch. Clinician can examine larynx, lower respiratory tract, trachea and the major bronchi. So endoscopic examinations are important and helpful to locate the site of bleeding. Friends, remember, endoscopic examination is important for the diagnosis of EIPH, exercise induced pulmonary hemorrhage. Endoscopic remark of blood in the airways 30 to 90 minutes after exercise in horse. It provides a definite indication of exercise induced pulmonary hemorrhage. Very important. Further important tool for the diagnosis is radiological examinations of head. It is indicated to diagnose space occupying lesions, either tumor or growth or polyps, or if there is accidental injury on the head. Continue with the diagnosis. We have seen that endoscopic examination is helpful in definitive diagnosis of EIPH 30 to 90 minutes after exercise. But here we show you the technique that will be helpful to diagnose EIPH of the previous occasions also. Some of the related things we discuss here. One thing is hemosiderin and other is hemosiderophages. What is hemosiderin? We discuss here because it has a relation with the diagnosis. So remember here, hemosiderin is a iron storage complex. You know that RBC contain iron. So it is nothing but iron storage complex and a product of digestion of RBCs. So hemosiderin is the end product of digestion of RBC which contain iron. Remember this is hemosiderin. Now another is hemosiderophages. These are the alveolar macrophages. Hemosiderophages are the alveolar macrophages that have ingested and digested from previous incidence of the EIPH. So what is hemosiderophages? Hemosiderophages have ingested and digested hemosiderin, and these hemosiderophages are present in alveolar, and they are the alveolar macrophages. These macrophages have ingested and digested RBCs from previous incidence of the EIPH, not present. Endoscopic examination detects after exercise, while this detects the EIPH from the previous incidents. In the further slides, we discuss how the diagnosis is provided. Remember, these hemosiderins are phagocytosed by hemosiderophages. With the diagnosis, important diagnosis, cytologic examination. Cytologic examination of bronchoalveolar lavage fluid by the Persian blue stain. Here what we collect here? We collect here bronchoalveolar lavage fluid. What they contain? They contain hemosiderophages that have ingested the hemosiderin. So hemosiderophages is a diagnostic of EIPH suspected cases. Clear? So presence of hemosiderophages with hemosiderin indicates a previous episode of EIPH bleeding. So cytologic examination is important for the diagnosis of previous case of the EIPH. Friends, I have discussed here clinical finding and diagnosis of epistaxis. Request you to share this information to veterinarians and veterinary students. To promote the channel, subscribe the channel, press bell icon to get a notification. If you like, press like button. Thank you very much for observing this video. Next time we'll come with a treatment of epistaxis part 3. Thanks.